Hey guys, it's Vicky, also known as Vicky's a Hufflepuff, and today I'm going to be talking about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. I've got my Newt Scamander wand here, which you would have seen in my Geek Gear unboxing, which was my last video, so go check that out if you haven't already. So basically, I've been wanting to make some theories on like the future Fantastic Beasts movies, like Seamus has been doing basically, but I haven't like got around to like researching stuff and all that yet, so I just thought I would talk about the franchise in general and my thoughts on like the upcoming films and stuff. So basically, I actually read it before I watched it. Like, I didn't actually go to the cinema like when it came out. Unfortunately, I got the screenplay for my birthday, so I read it as soon as I could. I mean, a lot of people would just want to watch it first, but I wasn't sure like when I'd be able to watch it and if I would be able to watch it when it was in the cinemas, so I just thought I'm gonna read it. So I read it and I felt like I had watched it because it was so detailed. And anyway, I fell in love with it. It was a really good story. I absolutely loved it, but obviously seeing it visually is so much better, even though J.K. Rowling puts so much like description in her things. Obviously she's used to writing novels. But yeah, I thought it was great, and then I saw it and I just felt like I was watching it again. But obviously there was a few things that made more sense when I actually watched it. But yeah, I thought it was an amazing film. It looks absolutely stunning. All the actors are great. The music, the score is amazing. I love movie soundtracks so much. I might talk about like my favourite movie soundtracks if you guys want another time. I really loved the film, but to me it seemed a bit like a standalone film. Like, the ending was kind of pretty much just the ending of it. Like, if that was it, I could live with that. I mean, there's a few questions like about Jacob and stuff and Credence, I guess, but to be honest, it just does seem like a standalone film. And now they're saying they're making 5 films, so 4 more. And I know like the timeline and like what will probably happen based on like what we know already from the Harry Potter series and things on Pottermore. But it's just the film in itself seems just like a standalone film. And maybe when I watch it, like when I watch the rest of them, then I'll be like, you know, this is a great series and I have high hopes for it. But it's just weird thinking that this is the setup for 4 more films. To me, when I watch it, it just seems like this is Fantastic Beasts, the film. But yeah, I still think it's good. Like, if you want to go watch Seamus Gorman's video on like what he thinks is going to happen in Fantastic Beasts 4, I'll leave a link in the description. But yeah, I think it's like Voldemort has to come in at some point. That's what I think. I think we're probably going to see Ilvermorny in it at some point, just because it seems kind of important. Even though I'm not sure about going back to America, because if you saw, I don't know how truthful this is, but like the tweet J.K. Rowling put out, and it was like, so someone asked how many films there'd be, and she said 5 in 5 different languages. So she started with English, then she did French, and so supposedly the next one is supposed to be in Paris. So she did that one in French, and then like it was like Spain, and I can't remember. I'll like maybe put a picture or a link in the description, I don't know, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, that's supposedly could be the different countries it's going to, so if that's the case then maybe we won't go back to America. But I mean, it could have like flashbacks and different just short scenes, but I think all in all we won't go back to America for a whole film, and I don't think we'll go back to England. I'm hoping that we see Hogwarts. Like, I know everyone really wants to see Hogwarts. That's like the one letdown. I get that, like, I don't know if I'd want to see it in the original Fantastic Beasts film. I don't know if it would like fit in, but I would absolutely love to see it. I would love to see Newt. I think they were doing auditions for like a young Newt and a young Lita, so I'm guessing they're going to have them in Hogwarts. That's what I think, because the age they were looking for was kind of like Hogwarts students' age. So I'm hopeful that we will see Hogwarts, or at least them like in their Hogwarts uniform, or like something to like bring back that old feeling from the Harry Potter films, because I think that's what we all miss, is seeing Hogwarts. I'm like hopeful that we will, hopefully, but then yeah, again, I'm not too sure if we will. I know that we're going to see young Dumbledore, and I'm not sure like how young. I don't think that's Hogwarts age, because it's Jude Law. I think it's like when he's just younger, like a young man, that's what I think. And then we're going to see obviously Grindelwald, and supposedly it will probably end with the like battle between Grindelwald and Dumbledore, but so that we have that to look forward to. But the thing is, thinking about those events, those big events that are going to happen within the time that Fantastic Beasts movies are set, it seems weird thinking that the movie that we already have is the first one for that, because it just seems so like light-hearted, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it, and I can't wait for the other films, but it just feels weird thinking about how kind of dark, and I get it can get darker, like I guess the Harry Potter films got darker, but it just feels weird thinking about it like that, I guess. But yeah, again, I love the film, and I'm like really excited to see the events that we know happen. I want to see more of Tom Riddle in Hogwarts, to be honest. And I think that we'll probably see some of like when Moaning Myrtle was killed by the basilisk, so around that sort of time will probably come up. So that's why I'm kind of hoping that we see Hogwarts, because that was kind of a big thing, you know, someone like dying at Hogwarts and them thinking of closing the school. I think that's gonna be like an important thing, and it was an important thing, so I think we will see that at some point. And also, like, I don't want to just say everything Seamus said in his video, so if you haven't watched it already, go watch it. But like, the head, I don't know how to say her name, but the headmistress, the headmistress that is mentioned on Pottermore from Ilvermorny, because Ilvermorny is said to have done like Care of Magical Creatures and Herbology, which is kind of like Newt Scamander's specialty. So I'm hoping that like we see him and like her at some point. I apologise for the lighting change, it's because it's dark outside now and my lighting isn't great. I have a feeling that Newt won't be as big as a part of the films in the future as he was in the first one, even though he's like the main character because it's about like his beast. But then like, if you think about all the events that's happened, Newt Scamander isn't really mentioned in them. But maybe if he was somehow part of like big events that are going to happen and we don't know about it, maybe that'll explain why we don't know that he was there and stuff. So I could probably go into that in more detail, but this is just kind of me briefly talking about stuff, because we do know obviously things about like Dumbledore and Grindelwald is a massive part of these films as Dumbledore's coming into it now. But I love the four like main characters of the first film. I really hope that they continue to be kind of a big part of the next few films. I love Jacob and I hope that he comes back. I'm hopeful that he will, because he's just so loved, and like obviously the whole thing like where he hasn't completely lost his memory, I think maybe he's like lost bits of the memory, because I don't think Newt was 100% certain about the like venom working properly, because he said like if properly diluted, or if it's not properly diluted, you know, like he could have lost bits of his good memories, but then I think he's just got it at the back of his head and he needs something to like help it. And I think maybe seeing Queenie helped him remember a bit more, which you can see as he like touches the bit on his neck where he got bitten. So I think it's definitely plausible that he will come back. I also am very certain that Credence is coming back. I know Ezra Miller was on set. I mean, that could be for kind of flashback scene sort of things, and they could be kind of tricking us. But then again, like the whole thing where there was like a bit that Newt kind of looked at as like it floated away after like Credence dies. I mean, there's spoilers in this video. If you're watching this and you haven't seen Fantastic Beasts yet, I don't know why you're watching it. But yeah, so I'm hopeful that we will see Credence at least somehow, because it could be the whole like Moriarty thing, and we could be like, oh my god, he's going to be in it, and then it's just like how many years ago, like 3 years ago or something like that, which was great. Sorry for the Sherlock spoilers if you haven't finished it yet, but so yeah, I'm just hoping that I hope that we will see Credence. I'm sure that we will see him somehow, whether that's a flashback or not, because I'm pretty sure that he was on set. He could just be like visiting, they could be completely tricking us. But yeah, I'm just like, because I feel like you could go into more depth with the sort of main story that we had with those characters like Credence, Jacob. I think that's a very interesting story, and I think they could have expanded on it. But then we know about all the massive events that are happening in the wizarding world over the next few years, so obviously they will have to be included. So then that makes me think that these four characters won't be as big of a deal to the rest of it, and maybe they will concentrate more on them and not the big events. I don't see why they would do that. Maybe there's big events that we don't actually know about, you know, because obviously with magic, like obliviation's a thing, like people can forget, you know, there's like memory charms, people can forget things, things cannot be recorded properly, so I'm just interested to see like what happens and what part those four have to play in the next films. Because obviously we know about certain things that will definitely happen, because if they don't put them in, like there's no reason why they shouldn't, because they're massive events. We know about them from the series, we know about them from Pottermore. And the thing is, sometimes they put things on Pottermore and you're kind of thinking, why would they put that on there? Why this specific character that we haven't heard of before? So you can guess from that they will be in the next few films. That's highly likely if they're like kind of linked to that sort of time period, like how Seamus was saying about Pottermore, their profile about that certain headmistress from Ilvermorny, which was the same time as like the Fantastic Beasts movies, which makes complete sense. I will definitely try and kind of come up with some theories myself by looking on Pottermore and just kind of thinking more into it, I guess. But like, obviously, I'm just briefly going over things. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so sad we have to wait a whole other year, well, like more than a year, because it's almost been a year since the first film came out, and obviously now we've got a whole other year, so it's like 2 years between, well, 2 years until like each film, which is kind of a long time to wait when you're like really want, I hope they don't end on like complete cliffhangers, even though that's really interesting, that'll spur a lot of theories. I'm just hoping that it will be good because like I do have high hopes, but at the same time I still, like I said about the whole it seeming like a standalone film thing, and that's kind of a big thing for me, even though like I'm excited to see how they like portray these events that we've heard of many times in the next few films. I really hope that Ariana Dumbledore will be in them, because I think she's a very important character, and you know there's a whole thing about her being an Obscurial. I hope they go into that, and I hope we get to see her. I hope that we get to see more of the Dumbledore family, because I want that to be something that we see in the films more, because, you know, Aberforth wasn't mentioned till Deathly Hallows in the films. Even though he wasn't mentioned a lot during the books, he was mentioned. So I think they should definitely put some more of the Dumbledores in there. I really want to see kind of Aberforth and Albus's relationship. I want to see the relationship between them and their sister. I maybe even want to see the parents. I don't know if we'll see all of that. They could just do like flashbacks and sort of things if they were kind of talking about other main things. But I really do hope that we see Ariana. I hope we see Ariana and Grindelwald maybe together at some point. I like want to see what the kind of relationship is there, because there was the whole thing where if Ariana was an Obscurial, then Grindelwald could have been trying to help Credence because he's been reminded of Ariana and he doesn't want the same sort of thing to happen because he could be feeling like guilty. Obviously that's a lot more to go into, and I really want to make some videos on them, but the thing is like other people are making videos on them, so I don't really see the point in me making my own one unless I have more to say about it, I guess. I don't really have much more to say other than what other people have said, so I just thought I'd mention a few of them. I think the Ariana being an Obscure thing is very interesting, and I really do hope that they go into that, because I just think it makes so much sense, and for us to know about kind of Ariana's life, not fully, like I really do want to know more, but us knowing that and then they doing the whole Credence thing, and obviously J.K. Rowling wrote it, it's not like a Kershaw situation, like J.K. Rowling wrote the screenplay, so like that link there is very interesting, and I hope that the films explore that link, and I hope that we do get to see her and maybe get some answers, even if she isn't. I think it's so interesting. I think we do need to see her at some point, whether she is an Obscure or not, because I think her story is pretty interesting. I think the Dumbledore story is pretty interesting, and I want to know more about Dumbledore's youth, like I do. I think that's interesting. I want to do a video on Dumbledore, and I think like if the films go into more detail, I'll be able to kind of build up more things about Dumbledore, make other videos in the future as well about him, because he's quite a flawed character, and I think there's a lot to him. It's kind of like Snape, but the thing is people always seem to concentrate on Snape so much and build him up to be all these different things, and don't really talk about Dumbledore as much, because like when you're younger, I think Dumbledore's just kind of like, oh, this like old friendly wizard that's gonna be a father figure to Harry, which he really wasn't. And obviously this video is not about Dumbledore, but I just think it'd be really interesting for the Fantastic Beasts films to explore Dumbledore's character more, which I'm very hopeful they will do that now we know that Jude Law has been cast. So that is all I have for this video. If you want to see more Harry Potter related videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel, make sure you leave a like and comment down below what you hope the Fantastic Beasts films will cover, and if you're looking forward to them, I guess, and your thoughts on Fantastic Beasts in general. I don't really know what this was. I'll probably do more like in-depth videos about Fantastic Beasts. This was me just kind of talking about like my thoughts and what I'm looking forward to. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you follow all my social medias. The links will all be in the description. And yeah, I will see you guys next time.